Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Taurus for November 2016. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, see what's new on my blog, and if you would love to be a coach, a business coach, a spiritual coach, a life coach, check out my certification course that is coming soon. So what's going on in the month of November? This is hands down the best month of 2016 and the best time until the summer of 2017 for launches, for new energy, for bringing things to fruition, for advancement, for ascension, for everything like this. This is the time that we've been waiting for. So there's lots of good vibes from the Sag energy that's present, lots of opportunities that want to be activated. I'll talk about some things specific for Taurus, and we'll talk about the general astrology that has important keys to help you maximize the energy. I always say that if you're on a deserted island and you've made a boat, you don't push off when the tide's coming in, because you'll be paddling against the tide, and that's not the place that you want to be. That's why I post these horoscopes early, at least a month early, and if you sign up for my free email newsletter and get my written version of this, of the general transits, you get those a month early so that you can plan, so that you can launch your boats when the tide is going out. When it's time to go in, it's time to go in. And when it's time to go out, it's time to go out. And November is a time to go out in a big, big way. One of the themes for Taurus to be very aware of and try to move your plans and actions around is this theme of better together. That's what I'm calling this month for Taurus placements. All Taurus placements, early and middle and late, have energetic presence in the 7th and or 8th house. The 7th and 8th houses are the houses of partnership. So that is telling us that your efforts, when applied with someone else, will create synergy. People that you need to help you, employees, practitioners, financing, anyone helping you with anything, even if you're studying something, expanding your studies. Having someone on your side or on your team and working with them on something that you are trying to do alone is going to go so much further. Earlier degree placements, so basically the April-born Tauruses, or 0 to 9 degrees if you're watching for your rising sign. And then this is going to come soon for the rest of you. Mars is starting to aspect your 10th house. And wherever Mars is, there's this busy energy. And this is your house of career and work and life purpose and being an authority figure, being your own authority, being an authority figure to others, running things, anything having to do with your place out in the world, your place on this earth. So once every 2 years, we get some weeks, a couple of months, where there's energy in this sector, and this is the time for you. So there's chance for rapid advancement, recognition, and beautiful hugs and kisses from the planetary aspects, especially for the early placements, and like I said, coming soon for the rest of you. The middle to later degree placements, well, actually more the later degree placements, so closer to the end of the sign, or like 20 to 29 degrees if you're watching for your rising sign, you still have some energy in the 6th house, which has to do with your diet, your health, anything medical, pets, animals. And this is also the house of your, it's called mundane work. So what you do every day. If you're home all the time, it's your home dynamics. If you work in an office, it's your office dynamics. So there's an ongoing theme in the short term, especially for the later degree placements, and the long term, because of Jupiter's presence there, where the planets, the stars, the universe wants you to get your most efficient work schedule together. Not all of the ways to get things done are you just doing things yourself. And this is a Taurian trait, a very admirable trait, where Taurus energy tends to just do what has to be done. But learning to lean on other people and utilize other people and their gifts and their strengths is going to make your work go further and give you a chance to do things that are more fun for you rather than just workhorse type of things. So a couple of recommendations for this energy in the 6th house. One is a resource called Upwork, upwork.com. This is an online venue for international offerings professionals who do pretty much any kind of work-related thing you can think of. You can hire a virtual assistant there, anything with website, writers, editors, publishing, whatever you have to do. Lots of opportunities there. both for you to hire someone and also for you to be hired. So it could be that these opportunities are coming for you where you put your services on something like Upwork and you start getting money that comes in from your trade with an international business. Another recommendation that I have when I see energy in the 6th house is getting a robot that cleans the floor. It sounds crazy, but this is the way that I see the energetic potentials drill down to your practical everyday reality. I don't know how long you take to clean your floors, but I was sweeping my floors for hours a week when the idea came to me, because I had Jupiter moving through my 6th house. And I've been on this long-term, I have Aries rising, so this Jupiter moving through the 6th house thing that you guys are going through now, I'm almost done with that transit, so I'm in the tail end and fresh with lots of suggestions from going through this. So it occurred to me that if I got this house cleaning robot, which I didn't even know existed until I saw it at my in-laws, would totally change my life. They have lots of price ranges available. They're not just all $900. There's some really good ones in the $100, $150 range. And now I have a couple of hours back in my life from sweeping the floors. And you can too. This is what this theme is trying to bring you in the short term, for the later degree, for the long term, for all of you. How you can use your energy more efficiently so you have time back into your life to do the things you really want to do. Unless you really love sweeping the floors for hours a week. So anyway, those are some things that are specific for Taurus placements. And now I want to talk about the general transits, including why I suggest that you get all your holiday shopping wrapped up in November. November is a very exciting month. I'm calling the theme of November for all signs, advancement and ascension. There are lots of planetary energies moving through the sign of Sagittarius. And when this happens, there's an overall optimistic, awesome vibe that's lighthearted, it's fun, it's easygoing. It can be very productive as well, but it can be a little bit dizzying because it moves in a spiral, so it's kind of all over the place. So there's lots of expansion and fun to be had this month, and you'll feel the mood be quite elevated, especially compared to the recent months of eclipses and retrogrades. Speaking of retrogrades, November is the only month in all of 2016 where we don't have any days in the whole month in a personal planet retrograde or a shadow period of a personal planet retrograde. So we had some really good launch dates in October, but we've got even more awesome launch dates in November. Almost every day in the first week is amazing for anything that you want to do. Launches, good times, plans, outings, just overall good vibes. Almost every day of the first week has amazing transits. The 15th, the 19th, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 26th, the 29th. And you can feel these energies often in the days before and the days after. So the month is just completely full of amazing opportunities. When you sign up for my free email newsletter on my website, anniehelpsyou.com, you will get a written version of the good dates, the challenging dates, the overview of the month, every month, a month early, the same way that I do the horoscopes early. So, and you get other gifts for signing up too. So if you want more information or seeing in a written form the energies that are coming up, then definitely go to my website and do that. So Mars is also wrapping up its movement through Capricorn. Mars visits a sign every 2-ish years. So whenever it's bringing its movement and activity to a sign, we have a lot of opportunities to move forward in our lives. Mars is like the border collie of the zodiac. You know, if you've ever been around border collies, I always have had border collies my whole life, and they're busy. They're all over the place. And they can make you crazy, right? Because it's just such active energy, and they're strong and fast, you know, and that's the energy wherever Mars is in your chart and in the sign that it's in. So when Mars is in Capricorn, which it is for the first week of November, that's the end of its cycle there. You have amazing opportunities to wrap up business-related things, work, career, life purpose, things involving establishing your authority, things involving authority figures, anything having to do with father or father figures or people who have played that role to you. As Mars moves into Aquarius, we've got a couple of months of movement along the fronts of everything Aquarian, including all internet-based projects, humanitarian efforts, anything involving groups or teams or leading groups or working with teams or large organizations or humanitarian efforts, or friendships or social media. So you've got a lot of opportunity with Mars, especially for things along these lines. There are a couple of spots in the month that are a little bit, I call it dicey, which means that the energies are a little bit challenging. I always think that the challenges give us more opportunities to advance and ascend, so I have an optimistic way of looking even at the challenges. So on the days leading up to that 5th supermoon at 22 degrees of Taurus on November 14th, there could be some emotions. Full moons bring emotions. And speaking of dogs, full moons always remind me of how dogs shake off after they get wet, because emotional energy is represented by water energy. And so at the full moon, any energies that we have in our field that haven't been shaken off tend to get shaken off in the form of some sort of little drama, some sort of little upset, coming to fruition, coming to completion. Sometimes it's a really wonderful thing and there are tears of joy, but sometimes it's just stressful. So I often feel the full moon like 48 hours before it actually happens. That's why I say the days leading up to November 14th. Then by the time the full moon comes, I'm good. I'm done with my moment or whatever. So the fact that this is a supermoon, which means that the moon is actually closer to the Earth, you can see it. It looks huge. It also increases the gravitational pull and effects on the Earth. So anything involving water, like water coming where it shouldn't be, emotions coming where they shouldn't be, excess emotions, can definitely come up. There could be something around the energies of Taurus where it has to do with money or how you make money, your income, something of value, and figuring out things of values, just your values in general. Another very notable transit is a square between Jupiter and Pluto. Whenever we have an aspect between outer planets, which are the ones that take longer to move around, these times of coming together last longer. And so this first Jupiter-Pluto square is happening on November 24th, Thanksgiving. So that could bring some conflicts for people in the United States around our holiday, our Thanksgiving holiday. So look out for that. But this is the first of 3 squares. The second one is March 30th of 2017, and the last one is August 14th of 2017. So from November through August, there's a theme of Jupiter and Pluto coming together in a challenging aspect. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. It wants to expand and go broad. Pluto rules Scorpio, and it wants to contract in and go deep and get really focused and really deep. So when these energies that are kind of, they seem they're actually opposite, come together, it stops you from going too deep or too broad. But I see this as a positive thing because either of those energies in excess have their limitations. So I think that you can get the best of whatever you're working on by not letting your Jupiterian expansion get too big, too fast before you can manage it, and Pluto kind of keeping it in check, and not letting you go down into an abyss that Pluto tends to go down into too deep because Jupiter buoys it up. So you'll see this energy of kind of antagonistic forces at play throughout this time. And I'm calling it a little bit of a buzzkill energy because compared to the rest of the vibes of the month, it's a little bit annoying, but see it for what you can do with it. The last little touchy spot is on the last day of the month, which is November 30th. And that's when there's a challenging aspect with Neptune. So deception, self-esteem pings, confusion, insecurity can come up at that time. But don't let these things daunt you because the rest of the month is so amazing that it's like you can't let anything get you down. So if you would like to sign up for my free email newsletter, definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely check out what's new on my blog. I have new things up there every month, and plus old stuff you can check out. And if you're interested in becoming a life coach, a business coach, I have a coach certification and online business training course that is enrolling in January, and you can get first dibs at the open slots if you email me on my website. Also, starting enrollment in January will be my astrology apprenticeship program and my Creating Successful Online Business program, which is part of the life coach program, but I also offer it separately. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.